The piece I just read before the break is a current measure of where I am in my mind. It reflects finding my people and a purpose. I want to juxtapose that with my next piece that was a starting point for me. So, college graduate and a homeless person, that's where we're gonna go. The first literary conference I attended, long before I had an idea, a working idea about academia, I only had opinions and not much understanding. That's something that Hemingway said, when you're young you write, but you don't write well. There is a little bit of coarse language in this, but I think it suits its purpose. Everyone looks of age. One of the things that I love about Wyoming is that if you look hard enough, you can find a group of people that has similar interests to you. Many times though, it takes work to make it happen. Work that you can avoid in a place that is more populated. It is a blessing and a curse, depending on the mood you're in. There is a lot of uncertainty in the following poem. It's entitled, The Equality State Book Fair, How I Fell in Love with Barbara Smith. Time throws borders around my country mind. 4 hard-won pages, added platinudinous onomatopoeias, zit, tick, tick, clack. The printer delivers a chunk of my soul. I head up to the college, already 5 minutes late, for personal essay, strapped for action. Slave driving interrupted. I'm sorry I'm late. Stern eyes, she's unhappy. We're all writing about guilty pleasures. My first thought is masturbation. Instead, I write about oatmeal raisin cookies. Next, it's pet peeves. Then, petty failures. High school girls and old ladies, sparks in some eyes, doubt, disappointment, fear in others. More plotting and papers. I just want to talk. I give her a huge failure. She peruses it, treating me differently. I think she likes it. Comments come, good and bad. My punctuation is terrible. She tells me so. If I saw this, she says, I'd think student. Then she throws the piece of soul I shaved. No punches held, no feelings hurt, ending my personal essay. I'm going to be a little tangential because this is a super long poem. It's funny to me reflecting on 4 hard-won pages. I've got 2 master's degrees, and my first master's thesis was like 60 or 70 pages, and so I look at 4 pages and I'm like, I can't believe that at one point in time that was tough for me. But, you know, age and wisdom, right? 5 hours to start a novel. This filly is fit. The accent holds my attention. More packets, pressure, reality checks. She's smooth and delivers. Without making us notice, I talked to Barbara about triple trailers at break. I want to pause again here because this stanza reminds me of the first writing workshop I ever took. It was delivered by Fiona McRae, who at the time had just become the head of Grey Wolf Publishing. I was 19 at the time. She gave me some of the best writing advice I have ever gotten. I had shared with her a short story I'd written. Her feedback was that it had potential, but it was raw. She asked me who I read. I told her I stayed away from reading authors that I felt might have a similar voice and experience. She said that was the dumbest thing she'd ever heard. She said read it all, read everyone. The writer and filmmaker Warren Herzog has similar advice when someone asks where they should start. He says, read, 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 read. I think that this is important to mention because really throughout my life, this idea has been a saving grace and a foundational component of my life that I've worked to build. The next stanza is my first impression of Barbara Smith. She has a look in her eye, critic and poet, knife and honey. I decided she will be mine, the only one that shows me real life, passion force, bullshit radar, and white fire hair. I loosen up and stop, taking myself so seriously. She throws out answers to loaded questions, real, simple, sparkling. I hear the shit fly, asking her what she thinks. Gala banquet, beef fillet ticket. Frankie looks sweet, but she's full of hate. No, I didn't take a workshop. I know all of these people and write just as well. Lovely Love and Barbara look relieved, seeing Luke and I. I study faces and know I should lower expectations. Scotch will do it. I stand in line for drinks behind a pile of success in a box. Our eyes meet too long. I feel uncomfortable. I want to say, hello. Haven't read your books, but I thought you'd be taller in person. He buys 3 drinks, successful author, waiter. I go back to the table, more Frankie and salad. I excuse myself mid-sentence and go collect on a drink. The benefactor buys me a beer. How are the workshops, he asks. Lots of old ladies and someone who wants to write Christian suspense romance. We both chuckle, but I get the sense that he already knew how things would be. I'll explain why Christian suspense romance is funny to me. I grew up really religious. I've read the Bible cover to cover 15 times, and when she said that, the first thing I thought was, isn't every Christian romance suspenseful? I mean, if you read the Bible, you know. I digress. I'll get back to this. Lesson learned, there exists value in everything if you are willing to dig a little. Dinner and conversation proceed. Lovely and Barbara have some wine. Colorful kaleidoscope, listen. We're going to start in about 5 minutes, but it's 10 until we're launched. Playing dumb, bad jokes. Laugh, 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 laugh. Names, purposes, and donations. Clap, 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 clap. Strike, sturm, nose whistle. I hate her pedantic voice. We're all friends here. Tell us what you think. Poetry, new book, poetry. The last one was best. She cut out the bullshit and was a real person. Lose the worn-out soapbox. Concept, flower garden, newspaper atrocity, flower garden, and on. Brilliantly common game. Carrot cake and Budweiser. You go into the poetry slam? I thought about it before, but this bar sounds better. I've already heard bad professional poetry and I couldn't stand bad. Book sale hangover, smelly old people sitting in aisles, boxes of books and records. I mine some nuggets. Fast, no excuses, pay, leave. Later, panel. Miss Barbara's reading, but still discussed it with her, along with the Strike-Sturm fiasco. Cowboy myth and legend. Barbara and I walk back quick. Sure, the fur flying has started. This rootin' tootin' panel will surely scorch walls. Audience and artwork, myth, legend, canned, planned. Protected panel approaches, only going far enough to not seem gutless. The audience does the same. The panel concludes, all. But during Barbara, Kate and I make quips, comments. I whisper to Kate, "That's my lady." Seconds hiss, "Who is she?" "That's Barbara Smith." "Oh, that's Barbara. I like her. Yeah, she's a firecracker. She's all mine, you can't steal her, find your own." Barbara says her goodbyes and starts ambling to her car. I pursue my fleeting love, guilt-ridden. "Hey Barbara, it was nice to meet you." "Nice meeting you too. Well, you were refreshing in this group of people." Her eyes understand. "I didn't know if I would say this or not, but I like you and felt guilty. I had to pick an author to write about for a class. You're it. You're my final." "Well, that's weird. Have you started yet?" "No. Well, it's all in here. I hope to see some of your writing. Thanks, I hope to see you again. Goodbye, goodbye." This trip was long and strange, and I left that parking lot feeling like I'd just gotten my first kiss. It should be no mystery to anyone who Barbara Smith is. She has been a past participant of ARTCORE programs. She is also the current Poet Laureate for the state of Wyoming, which I might add is well deserved. When I took a Wyoming literature class from Bruce Richardson in the early 2000s, I discovered her beautiful poetry. As a young man in Wyoming, her poetry spoke to me, and her work encouraged me to find a voice. Maybe a little outside of the norm of what I expected and what I had read of Wyoming literature. I am going to just wrap up here. I hope that I have shared some helpful things and maybe some food for thought. The big picture point I'm trying to make is that if it seems too easy, it's probably not worth it. That goes for life in general, doom scrolling, political opinions, or using AI. Form your own opinions, bad or good. Maybe write them down. Revisit them, revise them, change them. Hold yourself accountable. Thanks again to ARTCORE and for the audience for giving me some of your time tonight. Appreciate you.